in the middle of last year, I happened to be in the same room with Shola, the founder of Paystack. And while we're sharing ideas, what we're doing, and how we want to get better in the industry, I can see from our discussion that Shola and his co-founder started Paystack with a global mindset. Now, you have to think global if you want to grow as a startup. Now, no investor, whether angel investor or venture capitalist, wants to invest in a company that doesn't want to think global. So for you to think global, you need to look at the current and the past related activities. Now, if someone wants to open a fashion house, and the fashion house, you are looking at establishing a fashion runway within the West African region. Now, you need to look at, okay, who and who in this industry have done this thing in the past, and what are the current trends, and that will help you to know how you craft your own, bring innovation into it, and make your own better and more attractive to the investors. Another thing you need to look at also, if you want to think global, is what are we trying to accomplish? Now, for different organizations have different accomplishments they want to achieve. And there are people that want to create more impact than more revenue. So in that case, you see them run what we call social enterprise. So what do you want to accomplish? Do you want to accomplish, okay, you want to get more money, neglecting what might be the consequence within the environment, or you want to consider the environment impact, or you want to also see how people are responding, how their livelihood are improving while they use your product. Then you need to look at what is needed. Ask yourself, okay, are you a technical co-founder? If you're not a technical co-founder, you must get a technical co-founder. And a technical co-founder is somebody that can, this is innovation age, somebody that is good with websites, with programming, with technical aspects of your idea. Now, if you are not a technical co-founder, you need to get someone that will complement you. Now, the next part of it is that you need to ask yourself what can work and what cannot work. It's very important that you know that. You ask yourself, okay, like for example, personally, when I was building my brand, I know that I have a perfectionist. If I'm building a brand, I want to be sure that all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed. And most times, that is not what business wants. Business wants you to get to the market as fast as you are. I'm not the one going to buy my product. So no matter how good the product looks to me, it is still people that are going to tell me this is bullshit or this is great. So when immediately I discovered that, okay, I have this problem. So I need to find someone that will be telling me, no, it's okay. Let's push the market. Let's take this product to the market. Now, that is how honest you need to be to yourself. If you cannot do that, then your business will have problem trying to defend it with in front of investors. Now, another thing also we need to look at is tools of the trade. Now, if you look at this picture, it tells you that someone have meticulously set out all the tools that he or she needs to accomplish a task. Now, this picture is going to relate to what we are going to talk about. If you want to raise funding as fast as possible, when I mean as fast as possible is that you want to get $20,000 before Christmas. Now, you must have this. It's a must-have. There is no shortcut. You must be able to understand what is a pitch deck. You must be able to understand what is a pitch video. In this presentation, you'll be hearing a lot of pitch. I will explain. Now, a pitch deck, if you are using Microsoft Windows, is just something you do with PowerPoint. Is more of visuals. Visuals means put more of pictures out there, put more of graphs, infographics, less of writing. So I normally call it 80 to 20 rules, 80% of more visuals, 20% of more write-up. And if you're using write-up, make sure that the font size is not below 18. Because if it's below 18, most of these juries and most of these investors, unfortunately, might have eyesight problems. So they might not be able to see what you're trying to communicate to them. And they will not tell you, they will assume, and the assumptions might be of negative effect to your outcome. Now, what is a pitch video? Pitch video has two types. Now, there's what they call elevator pitch. Elevator pitch is you must be able to explain what you do in 60 seconds or less. It mustn't be more than 60 seconds. The concept of elevator pitch came about as, okay, what if you're walking into an elevator with Dangote and you have this burning idea, you know that if you pitch to him, he might invest in you. So, and he is going to the 18th floor and you are on ground floor. So the distance from the 18th floor from the 0th floor to the 18th floor is like 60 seconds. So you have 60 seconds, you and Dangote, for you to pitch your video for him to understand. So that means you need to be as precise as possible. You need to talk about your problem. You need to talk about your solution. Talk about the market size. Talk about what you are doing that is different. That's competition. You talk about your team. Talk about your finances. Then you now come about the ask. How much you want. And these things must be said in 60 seconds. If you are trying this, I've trained people that said it's not doable. They did their first attempt and it took them 4 minutes and something seconds. I told them, keep doing it. The only secret is practice. Now, after doing it for 3 days and on countless times, and she did it in 55 seconds. And she went on to use that to gain some grant leverage. So you must have your pitch deck. You must have your pitch video. Pitch video is elevator pitch. And also another video pitch that will last for 90 seconds. 90 seconds, 2 minutes are more relaxing. Then you have more time to explain what you are doing. The next thing you must understand how to do is compressing your words. Really remove a lot of jargons, remove a lot of technical words. Imagine now you tell someone that is doing is in edutech, is doing an online app that is teaching children between the ages of 6 to 12 on how to do coding. And you tell the person, okay, can you tell me what you do? I started telling you about Java programming language, Python, and I don't have that experience. I don't have that background. There'll be problem for me to understand what the person is saying. So you need to remove a lot of technical language and come about with conventional words that you can use to convey your idea, your strategy, your business model, etc. And make sure that whatever you are doing is not more than 200 words. If you are talking about problem, it should not be more than 200 words. If you are talking about your solution, not more than 200 words. If you're talking about your business model, how are you going to make money? Your revenue strategy, your team, make sure that you compress it. Use a lot of synonyms. When you are writing with Microsoft Word, it helps you when you right-click it in every word. It gives you an option for you to choose synonyms that are alternative to the current word so that you keep shrinking your number of words until it comes to the approved limit. Another thing is also you must understand is writing with impact techniques. Currently now, there's a lot of ills happening around the world. So those who gives out this money wants the money they are giving out to your business to also have a social impact. Now, understanding that in mind, you must make sure that if you are doing a business and your business is, let me take an example, and your business is, you are trying to prevent post-harvest losses of tomato. Now, what you are doing is you are trying to use a solar-powered refrigeration system to help farmers, maybe in the northern Nigeria, to preserve their tomatoes so that by the time it gets to Lagos in May 12, it will still be fresh and the losses will be reduced. Now, if you are going to write something like this, you need to be sure that you bring in the social impact of it, that farmers lose up to 60% of their revenue when they harvest. And if you can save 50% of the 60, it can help to put more children in school. It can improve family nutrition. It can improve the livelihood of these farmers. So you can understand what I mean by writing with impact techniques. It had to be convincing. Now, the next must-have you must understand is storytelling. Storytelling is if you are going to sell your product or your idea or your service or your solution to people, you must tie it to a story. You must find a story that is convincing. I participated in what they call Tech Point Battlefield in Lagos. It was an assembly of all the African finest. And the guy that beat me to it, that was where I learned how to bring in storytelling in your grant application write-up. He's a Ugandan. And what he did was he has a device that can prevent prenatal, postnatal, death at pregnancy, a whole lot of things around pregnancy, delivery, safe delivery, and post delivery. And I came with my own cook stove. We were 30, and we made it to the top 5. So they need to select only one person to go home with the $25. And what the guy did to beat every other 4 persons to it was that he started with a story. I guess the guy must have been a Catholic, because his pitch goes this way. I will not forget it, because it's a pitch strategy that allowed $25,000 to elude me. He said, dust to dust, ashes to ashes. That was the last words the bishop used when he was throwing in the last ash, when he mentioned one name of a woman that died as a result of giving birth. Now, you understand this thing? The judges that were there during the final event, 2 of them were women. Now, this guy played sympathy role. Now, there's no way a woman will sit in a panel of judges, and you're talking about trying to save pregnancy at birth, and she will not give you a listening ear, and you will not get her vote. So I know definitely that 2 of those women voted for him. So he just needed one man to convince one man to join him, and the guy carried the $25,000. So understand that storytelling, you need to practice it. It's not just that you just wake up and said, okay, this is my strategy of storytelling. No, you need to practice it, share with your team. You people go into it, make sure that you keep trimming down until your storytelling is 15 to 18 seconds. It shouldn't be more than 20 seconds. So it's not as if I'm telling you to bring in the story aspect of your business. You are telling me a story, it's still 15 minutes, you are still telling me a story. It shouldn't be more than 20 seconds, because pitching now for you to get money is 2 minutes. So when you have 2 minutes to tell people about 10 things, your problem, your solution, the market size, your competition, your market, your unit economics, your financial, your traction, your acts, and your closing. That is 10 things. You need to say it in 2 minutes. So you don't have luxury of time to spend more time telling people your stories. You need to put that in mind. Now, another thing I want to share with us is making it work. How will you make your application better than others? Because why we call it competition is that you're not the only one that is seeking for these funds. Let's look at this. When you look at this, I placed every of them like a tree. At the base of it, you can see social media, website, MVP, and POC. There is no how. It's almost, unless you want to get a grant by federal government. Because in federal government, they don't care about whether you have a social media page, whether you have a website, whether you have proof of concept. They just want to look at, okay, what is it saying? We don't have, we've not gotten it there to make sure that merit system works in grant application. So if you want to get funding fast, you need to look beyond federal government. You need to look beyond. I'll share the links. There are thousands of links where you can access grant. I'll show you in the course of this presentation. Now, if you want to get money fast, you must have like 15 sites where you can access funds. There are more. I just shared up to 15 so that you can know that it's possible. You must have your social media handle. Your business must be on Facebook page, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. Is a basic. You can't run away from it. Let me tell you the reason. The reason is that those giving you this money are not in Nigeria. So it's what they see that will convince them to take you serious. and you don't start your social media page today and you start applying for grants today, they need to look at what have you been doing. So the time for you to have a social media page is yesterday. Now that tells you that when you have your social media page, start posting. If you are doing something on physiotherapy, for example, you need to find write-ups, go on internet, make research, copy somebody's there and said, okay, this is how you can prevent back pain, backache while sitting in the office. Post it there. Just be showing that there are activities on these your handles. They look at it and it forms to their mind that, okay, this company is in existence. This company is doing something. The next thing you must have is website. You can't run away from it. 3 days ago, a lady approached me to help her fill an application currently ongoing by the American Embassy. And I asked her, let me look at your website. She doesn't have a website. I said, how can you collect $50,000 if you don't have a website? It can't work. So she's working her ass out to make sure that her website comes up today because the deadline is 30th. You must have a website. There are website tools online you can get virtually for free, less than 5,000 naira. You can use click and drag and put your company on the web. Make sure it's there. Then the next thing you must have is what we call MVP. MVP means if you want to build a sports car, you must be able at least to use a cardboard paper to build the sports car. At least let's see how the shape of the sports car looks like. It will help people to understand that, oh, it's actually a sports car, not that it's a truck. It's actually going to speed at 300 kilometers per hour. So MVP means the minimum concept you can bring to life. It might not be the perfect product you want people to see. The MVP of my first clean cook stove, my power stove, is still sitting in my office. Because when I look at it, I'll tell myself, this is where you started. So you must have MVP. You must have a way to use the minimum resources to bring your concept, your technology visible. Let people see it and understand what is in your mind. You also need to have proof of concept. Maybe you are not into hardware, you are into software. People should be able to see that, okay, you've done a baseline survey. You've asked people around, okay, if I start giving people an app that allow you to use AI algorithm, when you use the selfie screen, then it can be able to calculate your size and send to the tailor. Tailor sews your clothes without physical measuring you need to ask people, can they use such app? And if they can use it, how much can they pay? Now, these are what you must be able to have if you must be able to get funding. Now, the next thing on top of it is mastering and understanding Microsoft Excel. You cannot get funds faster if you don't know how to use Excel to do your financials. Excel helps you to do your P&L, that's profit and loss, cash flow, and balance sheet. That is what Excel can help you. Start now. If you don't know how to use Excel, at least have a basic knowledge on how to use Excel. Because if you have someone asked me sometime, I said, okay, what if I can pay someone to do it? I said, that's good. That's fast. However, if you travel to Switzerland, for example, to pitch for 150,000 euro, and when you are 2 days to the boot camp, now a mentor in that environment said, no, work on your P&L. Remember that you are in different time zone in Nigeria. Remember that you cannot call remotely, so you need to find out that either you have enough credit to call Nigeria, to start calling the person to help you. Now, you now understand that if you don't know how to do those little corrections, you're already losing out. So even if you might have some people do it for you, make sure that on your own, you practice it. Keep practicing. It's very important. The next thing also you must understand is the financial pyramid. Take time. Even if you don't have accounting background, I never liked accounting. But as I'm speaking to you now, I do my own profit and loss analysis, cash flow, and balance sheet, and do all the ratio analysis. It is practice. You need to read books about it. Now, what are the financial pyramid? You need to understand profit and loss, P&L, how it works. cash flow analysis, how to link it, what's it called? Balance sheet. You need to understand the ratios. What are the ratios? And an investor can ask you, what is your CAC? CAC means customer acquisition cost. How much does it cost you to get one single customer? You need to understand those formula. They can ask you, what is the lifetime value of a customer? How much can you make out of a customer before another competitor takes them away from you, or before they get tired of your product? You must be able to know this. Financial pyramid is very important. There are 5 levels of it in business finance. The next one is logic framework. Logic framework may not be important to you if you are seeking for investment outside UK. If you are seeking investment outside UK, you might forget it. But if you are looking for funding from UK organizations, it is a must. I don't know why they love it so much. It is a 1-page or 2-page document that tells them about what outcomes do you intend to achieve, what are the outputs, what are the risks, what are the assumptions, and etc. You look it up on website, on internet, and look for how you can build your own logic framework. It is very important. Without it, it's difficult for you to access funds from UK organization. The next slide talks about unleashing storytelling. In Abuja, most of you must have heard about Ventures platform. Now, there's a guy there, he charges 500,000 naira per session just to teach you about storytelling. Storytelling, it is the next thing in fundraising. Most of these funds that you are hearing that you want to access in grants, in investment, must have a storytelling undertone. And how will you know how to go about it? Now, who is a storyteller? A storyteller is someone that can tell you about the solution they are bringing to the market. Remember, a startup is a solution provider. He looks at the environment where there is a problem, he sits down, comes out with a solution. Then when you are presenting people about your solution, you need to tell them through a story. Because when you tell them through a story, the connection is higher. They tend to understand with you. They tend to empathize with the situation. They tend to know that, okay, this is really the next big thing. Nobody wants to invest. Investors don't give you $1 million if they are not convinced that, okay, maybe in the next 3 years or 5 years, this company can be $1 billion company. So storytelling is someone that can use stories. All of us can tell stories. The only thing now is that you are not trying to make a career out of it. You're not trying to make sure that you trim out all those topics that are irrelevant. Make sure that you cut it and make sure that it's shorter. Now, to create a story, you can create a story from personal experience. For Power Stove, I normally use personal experience because I grew up in the village. So growing up in the village, you already know that in the East, the only option you have there is either use kerosene or use firewood. Gas is out of it. Electricity is out of it. So you only have 2 options. So I use that to create my own story. And I've seen that using that to create my own story, puts me and the investors or the jury on the same page. So find out which one is best for you. You can use personal stories. You can also use stories that everybody knows about. Let me share another way. Before I started using personal stories, I started using stories that made headlines. There is a story in South Sudan. A young girl of 7 years went in search of firewood with her mother. Both of them were raped. So it made headlines. CNN carried it. So I was using it until they told me it's too strong to use. So I should personalize it. And I started personalizing it. And I'm still winning grants. I'm still closing deals. The next thing also you need to understand is preparing your pitch deck. You can't run away from it. Learn how to do it yourself. Don't outsource it. I'll advise you to do it yourself. Pitch deck is use PowerPoint. If you're using Windows, you can use Canvas to do it. Use any tool that you are comfortable with. I normally use PowerPoint because I'm comfortable working with PowerPoint. Then pitching profiles. You need to ask yourself, which one is my best strategy to pitch. Understand that you can watch a lot of pitching competitions on YouTube, but don't copy somebody's style. Find out your own style. I've tried to use somebody's style and it didn't work for me. You need to discover which style is best for you. I have seen competitions that somebody, his intro is loud music and he was dancing to the stage to it. That is bringing out, that is opening. You know, okay, there's a video I'll share of, most of you must have heard Dragon's Den. There's this lady, a Nigerian, and she controlled the room in the Dragon's Den presentation pitch. Her intro was 3 ladies, beautiful ladies, dancing to the rhythm, and she started pitching. So discover which is best for you. You can come out with your own. There's no cast in stone. Then the next one is understanding investors' mindset. Now, for you to understand investors' mindset, you need to think on your toes. Oh, somebody's mic is on.
Please mute everybody. Mute everybody.
So now, this point is important. Understanding investors' mindset. Now, this investors' mindset is a trick I applied. For those of you that watched it, it was broadcasted live. Founders Den, Tony Elumelu alumni that took place in Abuja. I won all the awards at the event because of understanding investors' mindset. Now, when you come to the arena where you need to pitch alongside other people, one is that look around the room. If the room is more of women, my brother and sister, tailor your pitching to favor that gender. You have to be gender biased in your presentation. Now, it helped me in South Africa and it's still helping me even in Nigeria. Now, if you look at the room, there are more youths. Tailor your pitching. It doesn't matter how you've prepared yourself before the event. Just make sure that you look around, understand who the judges or the juries are. Now, if the judges are more of female, be gender biased. Because people vote by heart, not by mind. Now, when you understand this, you know the reason why it is possible. It's necessary that you look into that. Now, when I came into the room, I looked at it and I saw that there are more women in the room. So I know what I already need to do without being told. And when I looked at the judges, I saw the judges, there are more like 60 to 40% of more female to male ratio. So it helped me to tailor I had to redo my scripting. And that text, I remember something. When you are doing you are preparing to pitch. Let me look at it. Okay, when you are preparing to pitch, script it. When I mean script it is that some of you that have watched my video on YouTube and other places, you see me pitch off heart. A lot of people pitch and looking at their slides. That is old school. Gone are the days that you look at your slide, you pitch. There's a difference between pitching and presentation. In presentation, you look at your slide, you start explaining. In pitching, you don't look at your slide because there is assumed that you are the author of the slide. You are the slide is your own. You are the creator. So if you are the creator, what are you looking at the slides for? You should be able to know what every slide say when you use your clicker. So how you're going to do that is you script it. What I do is that I say 1. So when I say 1, I know it's page 1. I know what to say when I click page 1. And I say 2, and I script it. And I script it that way till if I'm using 15 slides, I script 15 slides. Then at the end, you present to yourself, you pitch to yourself. When you pitch to yourself, you record it so that you hear yourself. Most times, if you don't record it, you don't know areas that you need to work on. Now, when you pitch and pitch and pitch like until you lost count. Now, you record is not good to delete. You are not paying for it. It's your phone. So you try so many times. Now, when you've gotten the one you want, what do you need to do? You keep playing it throughout the day. People might see with earpiece, they think you are listening to music. No, You are listening to your pitch. You play it on yourself until it starts echoing in your mind, that even when you go to sleep, that is what you dream. And that is how you can pitch in a competition without looking to your slide. Now, when they see you pitch without looking to your slide, you've scored almost 30% without even saying anything. Now, imagine now what you are saying now makes sense. You have a good story, you have good analysis, you have good strategy, business model, and you have a strong team. Man, you are going home with the prize money. So understanding the mindset is that once you come, there are more youths. Tailor your presentation to appease the youth. I did a pitch in South Africa, in Johannesburg. They are supposed to pick 5. Demo Africa, you can check it online. Demo Africa had, before then, ran for 4 years, and they'll be selecting 5 people. And when I went there, I discovered that there are far better businesses than mine, because they were doing great stuff, great traction. But I know I needed to be part of it. So I pitched to the audience, not to the judges. What happened was, when they called the 5 companies and I was not there, the audience protested. They now added me as the 6th one. So I became the 6th person that joined them to America. So understanding the mindset is important, not only the investors, the audience. The next one is creating your video pitch. You don't need to pay to get your video pitch. Use your camera. Nowadays, most of us use smartphones. Use the camera on your phone to record yourself. Don't go to studio. If you have a high definition Canon camera or HD camera, you can use it. But if you don't have, no problem. Use your phone. I've been doing this for 8 years. It's only once, when I don't know how to do it, I paid someone $25,000. Sorry, not dollars. Sorry, 25,000 naira to help me do movie editing and stuff, voice overlay. And I told myself, if you are pitching 10 times in a year, that means you are paying 250,000 for something you can do. I had to go and learn it. There are a lot of tools online for free. You can do that. Now, grant applications. Now, there are 2 types of ways you can raise grants. They are what they call in-kind grants. In-kind grants are the fastest. That's getting donations. Like if you are trying to teach people how to code, or if you are trying to run a school, and the school, because of COVID, you want to go online. So you need laptops, you need a modem, you need a lot of things to bring your school online. You can apply for laptops, you can apply for modems, you can apply for routers, you can apply for ebooks. Apply all those things. These companies can give it fast and free. We call it in-kind donations. It comes fast. There's also grants with monetary value attached to it. There are another types of grant they call convertible grants. That is what the prize offers. I won the prize, I think 2 years ago. So the prize gives you $20,000. It's a grant, but it has a caveat. A caveat is when you become successful, they will dilute the $20,000 as a stake in your company. So there are different types of it. But the major thing is that whether you are doing in-kind grant, or you're doing monetary grant, or you're doing convertible notes, you must have a website, social media, know how to do your pitch deck, know how to pitch, have a pitch video, understanding your financials, understanding how to use Excel, so you can't run away from it. Now, let me show you the amount of funding that is out there. Now, when you check online, this statistics is outdated. This is 2015. The 2020 speaks in trillion. This is individual donations that took place in 2015. Now, it shows you that there are funds out there, total of $373 billion were available for take. So if you are not getting money, it's not as if there is no money there. It's just like you need to put more effort. You need to understand how you can get this money. I have helped at least 100 companies to get grants. When I mean 100 companies, when they did You Win, I had more than 40 clients. In Tony Numelu, I had more than 30 people. And growth and employment by World Bank, I had more than 15 people. Everything that you can think of, whether grinding machine business, they want to grind paper for people, they are grant for it. It's just how you present it. I am the first and the only clean cook stove that got Cisco award. Now, tell me what concerns clean cook stove and Cisco. but I had to find a way to present my business that it became attractive to Cisco, and I was offered $25,000. So understanding that when you don't get money, it's not that the money is not there, it's just that you're not putting more effort and you don't know how to tailor your application to access this money. Now, this is how the funding came about. Religion goes the best. Everybody that sees it say, oh, they are grants for churches. Yes, your organization can access grant. Depends on how they present it. Their education is second, human resources, human services, etc., down to health, even animals. People that said, okay, I want to be protecting animal rights, I said, they are grant for you. They are grant for almost virtually every legal thing in the world. Now, I put in this as an example, how you can present your financials. Most people fail to get grant because their financials are not well packaged. This is an example using Excel. You know, I've been hammering on how to use Excel to make it more appealing to the jury to select your business. Now, this is an example of a school. Instead of saying part-time teacher, $9,216, you have to put it in bracket and explain it. Now, these part-time teachers will work for 12 hours a week, and each person will be paid 16 hours per hour, and they are going to work for 48 weeks in a year. Now, that gives an in-depth analysis, understanding of, oh, okay, is that how the 9,216 came about? It's not just to put it there. Teachers, you put the amount. Management, you put the amount. I've seen people say, okay, CEO, they put the amount. CTO, if you have it. CEO, if you have it. Head marketing, they put the amount. No, specify how many hours they put in a week, how much is their hourly pay, because the people you are presenting this thing to earn salaries per hour. We in Nigeria earn per month. So when you put per month, they cannot be able to bring into relation to understand what you are trying to sell. It's very important. But if you are looking for grant in Nigeria, you can put monthly. All of us know that we earn monthly salaries. But understand that when you want to collect funding, if it's in Europe, make sure you use euro, not dollars, because it will piss them off. If you are seeking grant from UK, make sure you use pounds. Because if they look at your application, they're seeing dollars, they are throwing it to the trash, because they want to also promote their own currency. Now, look at the next one. Instead of to say raw materials or consumables or accessories, $5,472, we have to break it down. Paint brushes, and modeling clay for 48 students. Now, we have to say each student costs $38, and it is $38 per semester, and there are 3 semesters for each of them. And that's how you arrived at 5,400. So you have to break it down. The next one talks about cost description photocopies. So instead of to say photocopies, 312 naira, you need to tell them how much is per copy. Then you total it, $15. Now, rounding up, these are some of the links. Some of you might know some of the links. Some of them might be new to you, but these are just a tip of the iceberg of links where you can access grants. Remember, 99.999% of grants available are for free. You don't pay for it. So any site that tells you to pay for it, just ignore the site and move on. I've given you a site that you don't need to pay 1 naira to access funding for it. There's only one company in Germany that once said I must pay to collect grant. I told them, fuck off, because I already have 99.9% opportunities to collect money from. So all of the time, I can tell you, grant accessing is free. Sizing investors is free. The next slide I'm going to show you will show you investors in Africa that are ready to invest in your business. So this one tells you about where you can apply for grants. I need to also let us to understand that if you are in the early stage, you are still building your company, it is advisable you avoid investors. Use grants and gain traction. Traction is let people know about you. Let your product be in the market. Let your product have users. By that time, you will have more grants to negotiate. If you are too early and you are coming for investors, angel investor will take up to 40%. I'm speaking from experience. I don't want to mention names, but I've seen angel investors telling you 50-50. You take 50, they take 50. And they'll give you little money that as small as 2 million naira, which is like, I think, less than $5,000. But if you put your energy and you learn the ropes and you understand what is required to raise grant fund, what is 100,000? You can get 100,000 from grant funding and it's free. So you still have all the stakes, all the shares in your company still belongs to you and your team. Now, these two links I shared here are database of investors. Now, when you click it, please don't write them, even though their contacts, their names, their addresses are there. It will piss them off. I put it there for you to understand that if you are in the industry they invest, you need to work towards that. Like the former speaker said, she said, go to them at LinkedIn, connect with them, because you know you need them in the future. You don't come now that you are still building and said, I'll need 100,000. I'm building a business that will help Nigeria to see the moon while sitting in Abuja. So that will, in fact, they will block you. Some of them might be just polite and say, okay, send me your pitch deck. You still go back to pitch deck. Now, I put it there. The second link is for women. This link is for, if you are not a woman, don't approach them, because they only invest in women-owned businesses. Now, you see them invest. Some of them are, you can see Nigerian names there. Some of them invest ticket size of $5 million. There are money out there. But before you come to this page, please use grant first, because these people, most of them are Shylocks. When they see your business, they know the prospect. I have my former social media manager got an investor that wants to give him $90,000. And the problem is not the $90,000. The problem is they are giving $90,000. The first money that is coming in is $15,000. But they are going to employ the financial controller. So you already know what is happening in your company. So when investor is trying to bring in accountants, you're already like an employee in your company, because if you want to refuel your car, you have to fill a form. If you want to take some decisions, because as a startup, most risks that we take, accountants don't understand it. Accountants are conservatives. They will not understand why I should spend 1 million naira to travel to Turkey to pitch. And what if I don't get funds? Accountants will tell you, no, that 1 million, we can use it to buy raw materials. So this is how much it can give us. But I may go to Turkey and get funding. I may not. However, just making that trip, putting it on your social media page, will tell other investors that, okay, this person is thinking global. Because by the time they see you today, you are in Turkey, tomorrow you are in Japan, next tomorrow you are in Uganda, everybody knows that you are thinking global. You are not just thinking within your community. Now they will feel that, okay, some battles are won, some battles are lost. So those ones that you've lost, if you put it on social media, you can regain some tractions. So have that in mind. And that's where I end. Let me take your questions. Thank you.
Wow. That was such a powerful presentation.
Thank you so much.
Like, for anybody who was wondering what's the relationship between grants and relationships, I think we can see it now.
Yeah.
The first speaker, the second speaker, everything is linked. I mean, for us to be able to grow in our businesses, we definitely have to grow our relationships in businesses as well. So, okay, thank you so much
for
this powerful presentation. Yeah. So we'll be going to the question and answer session. If anybody has any questions, drop it on the chat so I can read it. Okay. I'm buzzing with a lot of questions for you. Okay. So, okay, do we have any questions so far? Somebody say, Mr. Okay, please, can you be available as a mentor for this group? Or can we have an arrangement that works for everyone? Somebody say, some presentations. Trust me, okay? I mean, The chat session is buzzing. There's a lot of positive feedbacks here. Wonderful presentation. Great job, Mr. Okay. It's not easy to get your pitch approved for the first few tries, even though you have been trained by the best. How do you manage rejection in the first trials? Okay. So that's the very first question. Okay. Can you help us with that?
Okay. I also heard the first speaker talks about how to handle rejection. Yeah. But there's a way I handle rejections, and it's a very simple strategy. Let me use statistics to tell you how I handle rejections. I said I started 8 years ago. Now, the first funds I got was UWin. It was 10 million naira, and everybody knows about UWin. And after that 10 million, I said, okay, let me try with my wife. I tried with my wife, and my wife got. I said, oh, that means there's something I know that I need to monetize. So I tried other people, and I didn't charge them, so it was pro bono. And they got in the UWin 3. I said, okay, then I need to now improve on my knowledge. And after then, I didn't get any fund for like 3 years. And that was when I started looking for funds outside the shores of the country, because UWin was native to us. So I now discovered that this is just to answer the question, that for you to handle rejection and it pain you is because you are is because you are doing little. In 2018, I did 148 competitions. Now, listen, in these 148 competitions, in the application section, there are some I did up to 3, because, you know, like you introduced, I have 5 businesses. So I'll just put the 5 businesses there and look for the one that will hit the bull's eye. Now, the rejection started coming. Anyone that comes, I told myself, if I get 1 rejection, I'll do 2 applications to console myself. So the more rejection I get, the more I fire myself to do more. And you know what happened? I became better. In 2019 alone, I got more than $150,000 in grant application. So it's like converting your pain point to your glory platform. So to handle rejection is to tell yourself that if I do 10, then 9 comes out rejected, I'm going to do 18. Now, what you need as an entrepreneur, I share with people, is that you just need 1. I just came back from France, I think last month or so. A lady was sharing that she did competition for 3 years. She didn't win, but she was standing in the room and saying, guys, I just got $500,000. Everybody stood up and we are clapping, because you just need 1. Imagine $500,000 in this COVID period. And what she's doing is not rocket science. She's just doing solar home systems. She brings it from China, they rebrand it, and she gives it to people to pay instrumental. Simple plan. But how you write it can make it convincing. So to answer the question is, tell yourself, any rejection I get, I double it and apply. And I want to also tell you, there are certain rejections is not because your application was not top-notch. It's just because they have limited funds. Now, I went to Singapore. The application that took me to Singapore last year, I did in 2018, and they said, sorry, you didn't make it. Now, do you know what happened? In 2019, they said, you can apply. We've just opened. I copied the same thing I did in 2018, and I put in 2019, just changing the year, and I won. You can see it. So when you get rejected, don't feel pained. Just know that, okay, at least you've known how to write it better next time.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. So the first question, you didn't answer that. Are you available to mentor this group?
Yeah. I'm available. If we can structure the timing, I'm available to mentor the group. But I need to also let the group understand that it's going to be intense. I try to mentor people that I know in the next 2-3 months, I can see them getting grants, and it can be a consolation to me. I say, oh, that's good, that we're doing great. It's going to be, it will drain us, because certain things I need to do online, you need to do it by yourself, and I need to be sure that you understand it before we move to the next one. So everybody needs to be, committed to it, give their time, and make sure that we're on the same page.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. So that means you can only be available for serious people.
Yes.
That means we need to get our acts together if you are going to mentor us.
Yes.
So you will definitely be hearing from us because this is definitely a serious group.
Okay.
All right. So we have another question. How do we discern between real grants and fake grants?
Okay.
There are so many grants on social media. So how can we differentiate?
Okay. Now, number one is any grant that asks you to pay money, run away from them. Don't even waste your time. Even though it might look so juicy, just don't listen to them, because what they are doing is what I call crowdfunding. You get 1 million Nigerians to pay 2,000 naira, and that's already, we're talking of 2 billion. Then you bring 10 people in the room and give them 10 million, and everybody is claiming, next time I'll try. No, that's crowdfunding and cleaning up with people's hope. So another way to know it is that the links I shared, the verified links I've been using, I've been getting funds both for myself and for my client. They are valid links, and I can tell you, the number one, which is Global Exchange, only that one in 5 years they are still trying to finish the grant, because they have more than 15 million grant applications available. So you cannot even finish the grants I've given you in 6 months, because as you are trying to finish it, another one is popping up. So it keeps you busy around the clock. So just keep to the links I've shared with you. They are valid, they're verified. I've used it, I'm still using it. So they are valid. Don't try to go to links that tell you to pay.
Okay. Wow. Thank you so much. Somebody is saying, okay, can you tell us a bit more about your products? We heard so much about Power Stove, and then we know you have founded so many companies. Can you tell us a bit more about these companies that you have founded and how you were successful?
Okay.
in introducing them.
Okay, let me start with the most recent. The most recent is the Power Stove. I started Power Stove. The idea came 2017, and the last quarter of 2017, around November, we did our MVP. So our first model, it worked. I said, okay, then we are good to go. But like I said, I don't do something just to sell in Abuja or to sell in Lagos. I want to build a global brand, because I want a company that I can build, and at the end, somebody is pricing it $500 million or $1 billion, and you can go to Seychelles and rest. so that means that if you want to do it, then you have to be hyper innovative. You must have a team that understands each other. Now, what I did was, I know myself that I'm hyper innovative and I'm a sickling to perfection. So I had to bring someone to be pulling me back, say, no, I beg, take them easy, make money. So what I did was, in 2018, I approached a company called Ace One Stove. They are Netherlands, but they are a company in Luceto. They bounced my application off, say they don't need Nigerian. Then lo and behold, fast forward in 2020, the same company wrote me, they want to do partnership. But that didn't come alone. What I did was, which I advise you to do, use social media strongly. Social media, you put your effort out there. Social media, everything. Those who are following me on the time, you see that if we cough, I put it there. And when you put it there, it sends signal to those people outside Nigeria who are not seeing what you are doing, that say, this guy is doing well. And if they want to mention companies, if you put a search on stove in Nigeria, my company comes first. And why it comes first is because I put a lot of traction to it. Now, I'm in the market, I'm trying to raise funds. The funds I'm raising now is easy. People say it's easy for me. Yes, it looks easy, but we didn't do it through the easy way. We had to, everything we are doing, because these investors are following your activity. They know when you launched. They know when people are started using it. They are looking at people that are commenting, people are condemning, and what the activities you are doing. So that helps me to move fast. Within 6 months, we had 2 factories in Abuja, both the pellet section and the stove section. And that's a lot of investment. Our stove is the first stove, so far Nigeria is concerned, that you can cook and you have electricity in your house. It's never been done. And that's what we did. And our stove, I'm the first company to commercialize wood pellets in Nigeria. what you are saying is charcoal briquettes. So I try to go areas that I told you about startups. I try to go areas that are least travel. And now, as we speak, my stove is the first stove that when you cook with it, we pay in US dollars. It's never been done. What you see that people say, okay, buy, it saves you charcoal, is efficient. But now we're taking it a step further. Say, you cook with our stove, we pay you. And it's gaining traction globally. People are saying, then that's impact. That's my impact story. I told people that those families that use my products are poor and low income households. They live on less than $2. So I need to give them something to motivate them to keep cooking. Now, my second company is on IT, Gorgeous Card Network. We have, what is happening is that companies find it difficult to get customers, and even harder to get customers that pay. So we came up with a product that, okay, we will help you to get customers that will pay. Not just pay, they will pay in large volume. Not just pay in large volume, they will come back and buy more. So based on that, we built a company what we call Customer Gorgeous Card Network, which is a combination of three things: customer loyalty system, inventory management system, and also social media. So if you go to a salon and the person got your hair burnt, there's a place you can complain and it affects the person's traffic. If you go to a restaurant and they did a very wonderful delicacy for you at a good price, there's a place you can promote them. So we did that. That's the second company. The third company is Pitchwater Consulting, which is a company I founded after I discovered how I can raise funds. So the Pitchwater Consulting is a fundraising company. We help companies to raise funds. We help companies to close deals. We help companies to write business plans and etc. That's that. Then the third company is on agribusiness. This agribusiness is the company, like you mentioned. We have the franchise in Africa. We have a product that when you use it in crop farming, it triples your yield. So if you are getting 10 bags of rice bushel per acre, if you use my product, you get like 29. And it's purely organic, so no side effects. We have the right in Africa. We sell it across Africa. Then I have a technology company that gives energy solutions. When you plug it after your meter, it drops your meter bill by 40%. So these are my 5 companies that I have in the market.
Wow, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We actually feel so honored having you have been a speaker in our presentation. It's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Stop thanking you. Okay, so the next question is, you have talked about having access to grants. Is there any specific area that you think that maybe sourcing for grants in that area is not possible? Is there anywhere?
Okay. Sourcing of grants. So far, what you are doing
is there any kind of business? Yeah.
Yeah. So far, what you are doing.
Yeah.
So far, the business is legit. You can get grant for it. There are grants. There are tons of millions of grants for it. Oh, if you don't see it, you are not searching. You need to search more. If you're not getting it, you are not creating the stories around it. Let me give you an example. Power Stove gets grants in virtually everything. Any grant that is available. We got Cisco grants. Cisco that does network and etc. But we got grants because we convinced Cisco that for us to allow users to be paid, we need a system that tracks it. And we use only that thing. I didn't even talk about cooking. I didn't even talk about pellets. I just focused on that, expatiated it, and they gave me money. Now, Power Stove also got funds from organizations that have nothing to do with cook stove. So what you need to just understand is that whatever you are doing that is legit, you just need to look at areas. Let me use practical example. Somebody that is doing a football academy, good. Somebody that is doing football academy, taking children between the age of 6 to 11 through football academy, then put them to football clubs, negotiate deals, can get grants in, where will I say, in Bill Gates Foundation. Bill Gates Foundation talks about malaria, tuberculosis, but you can get grant from Bill Gates. Do you know how you can do it? You need to tell this organization that you are working with children who are prone to malaria. And what you are doing is that you have an in-house medical team that tests them for free. So when you discover malaria, you try to administer treatment early, allowing it not to weigh the kids down, to affect the education, and also to affect the social life. You can expatiate on this. So you can see how you can navigate stories. So when you understand this mindset, you now know that there is no limit, nothing limiting you to access grants once you are doing business.
Okay, wow. All right. Are there specific sites to get angel investors and venture capitalists? I remember you said something about angel investors. You also said something about MVP.
Yeah.
The MVP I know is most valuable player. Are we talking about the same thing? Or
Okay.
in the grants world, does it refer to something else?
Okay. Where to get angel investors is in the site I shared, the link I shared. The first link gives you a list of angel investors in Africa. That's one. Two, the MVP means not most valuable player, most valuable player. It means minimum viable product. Is for companies that are into hardware. Maybe you want to build a mosquito trap that you can just place in a home. If mosquito is flying in the parlor, it will be in the room and catch the mosquito. Now, it sounds novel. It sounds a breakthrough technology. And you tell them it doesn't use electricity. So even if there's no light, it catches the mosquito anywhere it is. Now, people need to see that thing. Bring it out. Even if it's not going to be 100%, bring it out at 40%. Let us see that one fly is passing somewhere and the thing just did magic and catch the the mosquito. Now, this is what we call MVP. So they need to understand. So once somebody says, okay, is that what you meant? Okay. Now, like, how much will it cost you to develop one? You now see that there's interest in it. You now say, okay, it will cost me $15,000 to do one that we can test like 85% accuracy. Said, okay, I'll give you $15,000, but I'll take 10% stake in your company. That's an angel investor. But you must have to look for how to raise this money to do the MVP, or whether from personal fund, from family and friends, or even from your enemies, you borrow money from them. But make sure you get your MVP out there.
Okay. All right. Thank you. The next question is when you are promoting on social media, is it advisable to use your personal name or use your business name, or does it matter? Can you use anyone, whether personal or business name? Does it matter when you are trying to access grants?
Okay. For a start, it's advisable to use your business name, because when you use your business name, they see you as a team player. They don't see you as one man knows it all. No investor is interested on single founders. Now, when your business has started gaining ground, you can now start creating an offshoot, removing yourself from the business. Now, if you watch what Tesla is doing, Tesla is removing himself from Tesla company. He has more followers as a Tesla person, as Elon Musk, than as a Tesla company. You can check it on social media. Now, but it didn't start that way. He started with trying to create awareness with Tesla. Then he now started branching out. Because when you start as a team, when you start as a company, it helps you to build your company brand, because it's your company brand that will put you out there. Just like unless you are coming from, let me say, your father is Otedola, so you can now use the Otedola name to create your own brand. Then you now use your personal brand to attach to your business. Like, I can see what DJ Coupe is doing. Is because the father's name was there. Then she now started bringing it back to her own page. Then started building her own brand. Now she's have gotten followers. She has gotten grant. Now she doesn't need her father's name. She's now DJ Coupe. Everybody knows her. So she's traveling. She's closing deals. She's doing amazing work. So you need to understand that if you don't come from the family that it rings a bell like me, then you need to build your company, build your brand. Then your brand will sell you as a person.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What other questions do we have? Do we have more questions? All right. When you did the pitch for you won the award for Tony Elumelu pitch, yeah? In 2018 or 19, if I'm correct. Yeah. Can you tell us what singularly, because I'm sure there were so many good pitches, but somehow you're able to snatch that award. Can you tell us what stood you out from the rest of the people that gave the pitch?
I can say 5 things. Number 1 is practice. Now, how you practice also is very important. What I did was we asked them, we created WhatsApp group for us that are going to pitch. So we asked them how many minutes are allocated to each of the session. They said 2 minutes maximum. So what I did was talking about practice. I had to script everything I said on the stage was scripted, like where you want to at home video. You have to script it. I scripted what I'm going to say in 10 seconds, in 18 seconds, in 1 minute, in 1 minute, 90 seconds. And I did it for 1 hour, 1 minute, 40 seconds, not up to 2 minutes. And I practiced it. People that saw me that day saw me with earplugs. Those earplugs were repeating what I'm going to say on the stage so that I don't deviate from it. Second thing that gave me the edge was I mastered my slide that I did my pitch without looking at my slide. The remaining 4 were 6 that did the pitching that day. Every other person except me was looking on their slides as they were pitching. That's presentation. That's not pitching. So the third thing that stood me out is that I was the only one amongst them, because their audience votes. So the audience also need to vote. But I was the only one amongst them that didn't come with any group, with any backup to be sure they will vote for me. I only came with my personal secretary. So, but when I came in the room, I discovered that there are more youths, and amongst those youths, there are more female. So my pitch was trying to show how indoor air pollution is affecting women. It's also affecting pregnant women from giving to birth. It's affecting pneumonia for child less than 5 years old. So I tied a lot of stories around women and how I'm solving social problem. Now, the 5th thing that also helped me was I had to bring the product live. I came to the stage with my product. So people didn't see that is Tales by Moonlight. They saw the product live. They know that, okay, if they can see that, they can believe me. Seeing is believing, is true. So you need to make sure that if you are doing yogurt, then your yogurt, you're not using sugar, you're using whatever recipe, you have to come with it on the stage. If possible, allow these judges to test it, Then the last thing that also helped me was I kept to time. Instead of 2 minutes, and I was the only one that did my presentation in less than 2 minutes. Every other person, they had to cut them off in between. And already in my mind, I was second to the last, or the last person. So when the first person did, the timekeeper cut the person off. The second person did, they cut them off. Already I know that if I can keep to the time, then I have a better advantage. So I picked the audience award. The audience voted for me. And also I picked the grand prize, the grant that was available. So those 5 things gave me edge.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think we'll just take the last question and we're running up for the day. Okay, someone says, okay, I think everybody wants to adopt you as their mentor. So I hope you are, just know that you're ready for a very great task ahead, because all of us were adopting you. So I hope you'll be willing to have us adopt you as our mentors, as our business partners, because that's what everyone is saying. Okay, so our final question. Someone says, you advise tech startups without marketing background to partner with marketing professionals for business speech. Do you advise that? Startups without marketing backgrounds, do you advise? Can they partner with marketing professionals for marketing pitch?
For marketing pitch, I want to understand what they mean by marketing pitch. Now, let me answer what I feel the person wants to, get answers from. If you are a tech startup, like I said, be honest to yourself, and you've seen that there are deficiencies you have. Maybe the deficiency is like you cannot market your product, or you cannot sell your concept during the pitching session to the judges. Now, that is a problem. Don't pitch. What you now need to do is look at people, look around people. You see that there are people that are comfortable in talking. I know people that they can talk. When they are talking, they're at home. Now, you need to find a way to see how you can create synergy. You can bring the person as a co-founder, because the only thing you have when you are starting is your shares. Even if you have money, I don't advise you pay, because how will you pay for something you are not sure? You are not sure when the money will come, when the grant will start coming. So what you can offer this person is, okay, I can give you a stake in my company as a co-founder. You discuss with the person 25%, 30%, whatever that is comfortable with you. Now you tell this person, okay, I can see that you love talking. There's this business I have in mind. You share your idea with this person. You know, a lot of people believe that when you share ideas, people steal it. I don't feel is workable, because what makes a business different is not the idea, is how innovative are you. I'm not the first person that started stove business. In fact, I had someone that I bought stove from for my wife, and I went to the person and said, can we do this? And he said, no, you can't do this thing now. It's not possible. And so it's about the drive. So even if you have your idea, share with this person. Let the person see where you see your business in the next 2-3 years. Allow the person to say, this idea makes sense. So can you do this? The person will ask you questions. Even though you feel that this question might reveal some secret, there's no other harm. Allow it, because if the person doesn't feel a part of the project, if he doesn't see they call it low-hanging fruits, if they don't see the low-hanging benefits of this your technology, the person, there is no interest. The person cannot partner, it cannot join you. Now, once you open it and you see the buy-in, the person is okay. It's okay. What I want you to do is that just focus on pitching. What I'll do for my own is that to develop the technology. So you now tell the person, okay, I attended one session. You must know how to do pitch deck. You must know how to pitch. Let the person be pitching to you. There is no harm. Be as blunt, as open as possible. If people pitch to me, I tell them this on a scale of 1 to 10, this is 1. You know, so the person understands how far they are to become better. Now, the person needs to be able to take criticism to heart and improve on it. Now, when you've seen this person, you stick to the person. I've been in a competition that this guy is good. He's a programmer here. He's a hardware person. He's a software person. But the guy is bullshit in pitching. And anytime I come to pitch and see him, I say, okay, I've seen one person I'm going to beat to the award. He refuses to get somebody to help him to do the pitching. I told him, you're a technical person. You need to understand how to pitch. So I advise you, look out for the person, bring in the person as a team member, give the person share in the company. Because when the person have shares in the company, person feels belonged, person can go the extra mile and learn and improve and make sure that they pitch and get the money for the company.
Okay, wow. Thank you. I know I said last question, but I don't know. The questions keep popping up. So I'm sorry. Please bear with us.
Okay.
Okay. You said something about social media manager. Yeah. So at what point do you need a manager? Is it from startup at the initial stage where you are trying to introduce, or later on? When is it advisable to get a social media manager?
I advise it later on. For now, like I mentioned, that go with people that are multi-skilled and multitasking. Make sure that even if you are going for whatever reason you want to go with a social manager, it's not just for the person to use a smartphone and be posting. No. Find another thing the person is good at. If the person can pitch for you and bring money, oh, good and fine. If the person can help you to do legwork, to go to a company and drop brochures and drop flyers and follow up, good and fine. But if it's just a social media manager, no. It's a no at the early stage. Do it yourself. All these pages, you can create it for free. So use your data, create it. Just tell yourself, there's this application. I don't know whether you've heard of it. It's called Buffer, Buffer. Check it out. Now, Buffer is created for startups, for busy startups. What you need is that you just said, okay, every Sunday after church service, I need to create campaign for the week. So you now sit down and say, on Monday, I'll post about, assuming now you are doing something about dental health. Maybe you have a powder that you can use to clean teeth, a brown teeth becomes white. Good. Now, you create a page for it and said, okay, on Monday, I'll talk about the value of dental health, oral health. On Tuesday, I'll talk about my solution. On Wednesday, I'll talk about the impact, how dental health can escalate to headache and etc. 4, I'll talk about oral hygiene in the family. 5, I talk about sales strategy. 6, I talk about where my business will be. 7, I talk about promo. Now, these 7 things, you create it on Buffer and put time. On Monday, once it's 10 a.m., send. On Tuesday, once it's 2 p.m., send. Then you can put repeat. Now, this app will help you to post it on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, without you being there physically to do it all the days of the week. So with this thing now, you can see that you don't need the social manager. You just need to discipline yourself, bring out one day in a week, create all the things, put pictures. If you have videos, put it. Once it's that time, you might even be on transit. You just see that it's trending. And so look for Buffer, use it, and save money from getting a social media manager at the early stage.
Wow. Okay. Thank you. So that means we can actually do our media managing by ourselves.
Yes, you can do it by yourself.
We can discipline ourselves.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think that's about the questions. But what we need from you now is, I hope you'll be available because anyway, I'm sure you know this. We're definitely going to come for you. But we want you to give us your final words. What can you advise us as a group? What can you tell us? Because most of us, more than 50% of us are business people. So what can you give us, your parting words, your advice for us as a group?
Okay. One is, whether you are in business or not, get a business. If you are in salary, there is what the Hausas say. Salary in Hausa means albashi. Bashi means bese. It means loan. So salary can never give you financial freedom, no matter how lucrative it is. The more they pay you 500,000 in a month, the more your expenses tries to kiss it or overtake it. But when you have a business, one is choose a business that you are comfortable and you're happy doing. When you do that, even when you get rejections and you get no, you self-motivate yourself. Business Paystack, I keep using it forever, has proven that you can build a business in less than 5 years. You sell a business that have more valuation than Wema Bank, Unity Bank, and FCMB. It has happened in our lifetime. This is not story. This is not Tales by Moonlight. Find out that business that need to work. Put in your time. There's no time you put in your business that is a waste. I have seen it work. Now I speak to you, investors are the one knocking, they want to invest in my company. And I can sit in my room and I can tell you, if I want to raise 100,000 by December, it's easy for me. I just say, okay, I need to give out 5% of my shares. You see them coming in. So you can see that businesses are getting simpler. If we're not doing it the way it's done in developed country, anything Nigeria lay hand on, we bring our own style to it. It has come to us, so we need to bring our swag to it. Put your time in your business. Your business is what will give you financial freedom. Your business is the only thing your children can inherit. They can't inherit job. You lose your job now, they mourn you the following day. The next day, the company is putting out VAT, including me. So you are dispensable in salary, no matter how, even if they promise you VVP and they are giving you a fast salary. Get a side business on you. That's what your children can inherit. They cannot inherit your business. So that's my advice to everyone. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you. We can't thank you enough. Thank you so much.